Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting. I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today I want to talk to you about where are you right now? And ruthlessly looking at the facts of your circumstances without being afraid. So we often hear in manifesting over and over again, circumstances don't matter. And we've talked about a few times probably that what that phrase means, circumstances don't matter, is that whatever your current circumstances are, does not mean that you cannot have your manifestation. That does not mean that you cannot manifest exactly what you want, regardless of whatever your circumstances are. And there are probably some believability, like if you have something that's really hard to believe that we don't have evidence on the earth about like bringing someone back from the dead, right? Like that's, now I believe in the limitless universe that we live in, that is impossible. Do I think I have the level of belief that I would need to do that sort of manifestation? I don't. I don't believe that, right? That feels really outside the realm of something I believe that I can manifest as a possibility for me, right? So outside of those really outsized believability circumstances, and maybe you do have that, maybe your belief is expansive enough to encompass that. At this moment in my life right now, mine isn't. And that's okay. And that's okay. Like I can be honest about that and it's okay. And it doesn't affect my manifesting unless that's a desire that I have. And it's not one that I currently have. So I wanted to say that, but you also can just brutally be honest with yourself about the circumstances and about what you want. I think sometimes we're not honest with ourselves about what it is we want. And you can do that safely. And I think what trips people up from doing it is because they think they're having thoughts that think against their manifestation. But by not embracing, this is what I'm already thinking, I might as well accept it. And then that releasing the resistance so they can move on and think about other things, they're keeping it because they're resisting thinking about it, or really they're still thinking about it somewhere. They're just not being honest with themselves. And you don't have to be honest with another person. This is between you and you. This is between you and you. So let's do a more practical example. Let's say that you have a fear and your thought process, you have a fear that you cannot manifest your specific person, that your specific person isn't interested in you. So you hear that, I just said it, that resonates with you, and that is a feeling, a thought that you currently have. Let's walk through the process of what it looks like to be honest with yourself about having that thought or feeling. So the first step is like, you heard me say that. And if that's an example, if that example doesn't resonate with you, pick one that does. And so you say to yourself, yeah, I don't believe that I can have my specific person. I don't think she is that interested in me. I don't think that he is that interested in me. I don't think that they are that interested in me. That's what I believe at this moment in time. I mean, and even for me, like that's not an example that's applicable to my personal manifestations now, but even when I said that, thinking back on times where that was true for me, I can feel a shift of how that feels. And just even that little shift, it just feels like a little bit of relief. The honesty in this case feels like a little bit of relief. Now we're still a little bit ways away from where we need to be, but we're getting closer, right? So we've been honest. We're sitting here in that feeling. To me, that little shift feels like relief. I hope it feels like a little bit of relief for you too. And then you can go to the next step, which is it's really normal for a person in these particular set of circumstances to feel that way. That's a feeling that would be natural for someone to have. It's what I feel, and that's okay. So you're going to accept it. You're going to accept the feeling. You're going to welcome the feeling. And then you're going to say to yourself, I can have this feeling and still get my manifestation. I can have this feeling and still get my manifestation. So you say that to yourself, and then you go about your day. At some other point when you do your manifesting work, however that is, remember that's what I'm calling manifesting work in this moment. It's really all of it, but it's your focusing. I'm particularly meaning doing your focusing work. And you're gonna do it. You're gonna do your affirmations about your specific person. You're gonna have that inner conversation where your specific person is saying to you that they are madly in love with you, and you're gonna enjoy it. You've accepted this thought, and if you're going to that inner conversation or you go into those affirmations and that thought just keeps pestering you, do it again. Accept the thought again. Do that little process I just said. You brutally bring up the thing. I don't believe that my specific person likes me, loves me, is interested in me, whatever it is. You sit with it. You feel whatever that feels like. And maybe it's painful. Like maybe there's a lot of pain to process around that. And you feel those feelings. They're just feelings. They're not going to hurt your manifestation. You're on your way to it. And then you say to yourself, I can have this feeling and still get my manifestation. This feeling is natural. It's normal. That's how these circumstances feel to me right now. And it's okay. You accept it. You accept it. And then your focusing work is a separate step. It's a different step in the process. Now, if you do want to work on believing that you can have what you want without that kind of workaround, what I do is I look for evidence. The place I usually find it is in success stories or other stories that I've heard where I hear, oh, I read this story about this man who wanted to marry this woman. They met at a party and he would just and instantly knew or whatever. She was married to someone else. So he was like, okay, well, I guess not. He had that persistent feeling, but he just thought it. And he just was just like, yeah, that's what I think is true. He didn't do anything. He didn't pursue her. He didn't do anything in the 3D reality. And remember, we don't either. All of this is internal. And he just consistently held on to the thought that that was the woman for him. And went on with his life, enjoyed his life. 4 years later, they end up in some circumstances that are like she lives in the same town. She moved to the town. She's divorced. They start dating. They get married. And it's just a story that I read once that gave me a feeling. So that's what I do. I look for evidence that soothes that feeling in me. I'm like, that could also, and then I just make the leap to that could be possible for me too. That could be possible for me too. And that's it. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for listening. May you manifest exactly what you want.